Welcome back to I Just Have to Say with Laura Max. Today, I am sharing all about a product that has totally changed my life, and this is not sponsored in any way whatsoever. I tell every single person I run into, I feel like to an annoying degree, like I am trying to rein it in so that I'm not the person who is always talking about this. The Oura Ring. You guys, if you haven't heard of it, the Oura Ring is a ring that looks just like a regular ring. This is my Oura Ring. It looks like a wedding band. Also, mom vibes. Look at you can if you're seeing me on video right now, I have one nail remaining and the other ones have all fallen off. Not my actual nails, my dip manicure, if you will. So it looks like a regular ring. It looks like on when I see it on men, I always like it looks just like a wedding band. It looks like a men's wedding band, and it tracks all of your vital statistics and more. So this is not something, let me just preface, that I ever thought I would purchase for myself. I never wanted to know like how many steps I'm taking in a day, how well I'm sleeping. I thought that having that information would actually make me feel very, very neurotic. Not the case. And I'm going to talk all about this, why I ended up purchasing it when I really didn't think it was a good thing for me to have, and why I love it, why I bought it. So let me start with why I bought it. So the Aura Ring is a fitness tracker in some ways. It's really more of a wellness tracker. And it's something that, people usually have the Aura Ring or they have the Apple Watch or they have the Fitbit, but they don't have all three. People pick one. I have to tell you, I have tried to sell my Apple Watch friends on the Aura Ring, but most of them are very loyal to their Apple Watch, and that makes sense to me. That being said, whenever somebody has this ring, they don't shut up about it. Like they're just like me. I can't stop talking about how amazing it is. My husband wants to get something just like it now. He actually found this other fitness tracker watch that's really, really cool, that looks really good, and it's very masculine and awesome. But he's super into the whole concept because of how in love I am with this ring. So let me tell you why I purchased this ring. I follow Megan Burkle. She is the former owner of Willow Crowns. Willow Crowns is a hair accessories company that she owned for 10 years. She's no longer running Willow Crowns, but she has been a very frequent guest on this podcast and my previous podcast, and she is coming on the podcast again on Friday, and we are going to have an amazing conversation. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. She actually shared on Prime Day, this most recent Prime Day, which must have been, I think, about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, because I think that's how long I've had my Aura Ring, that she was buying an Aura Ring for herself because it was on sale for Prime Day. I really hadn't heard that much about it, but this is what a chokehold Megan Burkle has over me, you guys, that she could sell me on a ring that's not like, this is not a cream for your face. It's like $15. The Aura Ring ranges in price anywhere from like $250 to about $550, depending on when you purchase it and which shade you purchase it in. So I hadn't really heard anything about it. But I was super intrigued that she was buying it for herself. She's on a wellness journey of sorts, which we're going to talk about on the podcast on Friday. And I decided to do some investigating, and I'm super into numbers and number sequences. You know this if you listen to my podcast often. So numbers that come in a sequence like 333, which I just saw on I've been talking for 3 minutes and 33 seconds right when I said that. 444, 555. I believe all of those number sequences have meaning. And 444 is really special for me because my solar return this year was at 4:44 a.m. And those have really been special numbers for me this year in terms of just going in the right direction. And whenever I see 444, I know it's a good sign that I'm going in the right direction. So the rose gold Aura Ring on Prime Day was on sale for $444. The rose gold style is typically the most expensive. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and whether or not I thought getting the rose gold version was actually worth it and what I think it looks like. But it was $444, and it's typically at least $100 more than that. And then it had 888 reviews. And I'm like, wait a second, this is crazy. So I start thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? My mom always gets me like a really special birthday present every year. And I'm thinking there's nothing I want more for my birthday right now after having read about this. I mean, I was totally mesmerized. And it's not going to be Prime Day on my birthday. So I called my mom and asked her if she would give me an early birthday present, and she did. And she got me this ring, and I could not love it more. So the first thing that sold me on really wanting the ring, the thing that made me think, okay, I want this more than anything else I can imagine, is that it is a cycle tracker. So it tracks your period, it tracks the length of your cycle. And if you sync it with an app called Natural Cycles, which is an additional like $115 a year, you do not need to get Natural Cycles in order to track your period with the Oura Ring. But Natural Cycles is the only FDA approved birth control method that is not actual oral birth control. It is simply a tracker that syncs with your Oura Ring that tells you when you are fertile, when you might be fertile, when you're definitely not fertile, and when your period is coming based off of your body temperature, which it tracks from the Oura Ring. And I was totally obsessed with this concept. I just Now you're going to know a little more about me. I have not taken any type of oral contraceptive since um, right before I got married. I started trying to get pregnant essentially a month after I got married to my husband. I stopped taking oral contraceptives and I never looked back because I hated the way they make me feel. I mean, I feel absolutely insane being on synthetic hormones. They're not for me. And I do believe that there are other options for women who are interested if you feel the same way about oral contraceptives. So I learned a lot about the fertility awareness method, which is essentially just tracking your cycle and knowing when you ovulate and knowing when it's safe to have unprotected sex during your cycle. And that is what I have done. And I've done it successfully for a decade now because I've been married for a decade. So every baby that I've had, I have planned to have, and I have never taken an oral contraceptive, not since I was like a teenager and right before I got married. So I was totally in love with the fact that this app would do this for me. Sometimes I have a longer cycle, sometimes I have a shorter one, and I wanted to understand more about that. So, super into that. That was the big seller for me. Interestingly enough, though, that is not the thing that I am the most in love with about this ring. Here's what I'm the most in love with. This is what I tell everyone about. This is what I am an evangelist about. As a mom, I do not get nearly as much sleep as I used to. I used to get like 9, 10, 11 hours of sleep. I was an amazing sleeper. As a mom, I'm getting 6 hours of sleep a lot of the time, 8 if I'm really lucky, 7 on most nights. And I really, really had a story about that in my head, that I'm not getting enough sleep, that I need to be getting more, that it's affecting my health, that it's affecting my ability to be productive. And on top of that, I am a very, very productive person. So the big story that I had running is I'm being productive sort of against my body's will, that like I'm pushing myself too hard and I'm going to burn out, and just things that I didn't really know if they were true, but I was always worried about them. Well, I am right about that, the fact that I get a lot less sleep than I used to. But what I was really wrong about is how that's affecting me. I actually do thrive and am capable of being a very productive, fully functional human being on 6 to 8 hours of sleep. And what the Aura Ring does is, this is the coolest, most insane thing ever. I have it on all the time, right? I sleep with it on and it tracks not just how long I've slept. Each time I wake up to go to the bathroom, it knows that I've woken up. It'll tell me in the morning, this is when you are awake. It knows how much REM sleep I've gotten, how much light sleep I've gotten, how much deep sleep I've gotten, and what my latency was. So my latency is like how long it's taken me to fall asleep. And then it tracks the time in which I was awake in the middle of the night. So if I wake up in the middle of the night to go be with one of my daughters, or they come into my bed, it knows how long I was awake. And when I wake up in the morning, it gives me a sleep score. So the sleep score is anything from 0 to 100. And they factor that sleep score into my readiness score. So I wake up with 2 scores every day. I've got my sleep score and my readiness score. And my readiness score is also a number from 0 to 100. And using that readiness score, the Oura Ring gives me an activity goal every day. So it knows my resting metabolism, which I think mine is about 1,500 calories a day. So if I were to do absolutely nothing, if I just sat still, I would burn 1,500 calories. And then it gives me an activity goal on top of that. So a number of calories to burn on top of my resting metabolic rate so that I get the amount of activity that my body needs every day. My activity goal is going to be anything between 300 and 500 calories. And it's going to be closer to 300 if I have a night where I woke up a bunch, and it's going to be closer to 500 if I'm really sleeping well and I have a bunch of energy. And then it helps me track how many calories I've burned each day and tells me when I've hit my activity goal. Okay, here's the other thing about this ring that I'm totally obsessed with. I have been going around since I became a mom telling everyone who will listen that no, I don't work out, I don't go to the gym because my kids give me all the cardio I need. Running after them is all the cardio I need. Well, I've always sort of felt like I'm kidding. I'm kind of lying to myself. I'm kind of lying to other people. And I know that. Guess what? I'm not lying. I actually do burn all the calories that I need to burn every day, doing daily tasks, housework, running after my kids, living my life. By 4 p.m., I've typically burned about 450 calories just living my life, which was just so validating to see that. It's so validating to see that on an app and to see that on a tracker, because I don't really feel like I have the energy to push further than that, to go to a spin class, to do cardio. I feel like I'm preserving my energy every day because I use so much of it. And this ring is basically saying, you're right. You're totally right. You're listening to your body. You are maxing out on how much activity you can do every day by running after your kids and doing what you need to do every day. And I can't tell you how wonderful it's been just to kind of let go of this idea that I don't work out, I don't push myself hard enough. My cardiovascular age, according to my Oura ring, is actually -5 years. So I'm cardiovascularly 31, which is fantastic. And I am getting as much exercise as I need every day. So it just really it was extremely validating to see that. And just knowing that if I don't get enough sleep, I don't have to write off my entire day, and that actually I've gotten enough to be productive. It'll also encourage me to take a nap or to take it easy on days where I really haven't slept well, which helps me just know, hey, it's okay to slow down. It's okay not to do this thing that really feels like it's outside of my capacity right now. Okay. The other thing I'm totally in love with about this ring is after you've worn it for, I think, about two, maybe six days, 7 days, just about a week, it starts to track your stress levels and your resilience. So there's 5 different levels of stress and resilience that you can have. And I'm typically right in the middle, number 3, which is solid, which means that I get enough rest and I do enough activity, and I have a good enough balance between being stressed out and being in a restored state. I'm right there in the middle, which I think is great considering the fact that I have 3 kids and that I work and all these other things that are on my plate. I really love when I'm the number 4, which is strong. And I really hate when I'm number 2, which is adequate. So I'm usually one of those 3. But adequate is still good enough. And it helps me understand, like, hey, even though I'm struggling right now, even though I'm not getting the amount of sleep that I want to be getting, I'm still getting enough sleep and I'm still okay. And when I'm in that strong space, I get to really celebrate that and really push myself a little bit further than I usually do, which is where I'm at right now. So I've been podcasting, I've had time for my clients, the work that's on my plate, and being more hands-on with my kids and all these different things because I'm getting enough sleep, essentially. I love knowing what my stress levels are throughout the day. I think it is the coolest thing ever. So at any point throughout the day, not only can you see what your stress levels are generally, but you can check in and see what your stress levels are in that moment. And they track that based off of, there's 4 different stress levels that you can have in any different moment. So there's restorative, relaxed, engaged, and stressed. So when I'm working, I'm engaged. When something sort of either goes wrong in my work or when something's really intense, I'm stressed. And when I'm having a day with my kids, I'm usually actually relaxed when I'm just hanging out at home with them. And when I'm hanging out at home with them and everyone's sleeping and maybe I can take a nap, obviously I'm in a restored state. So this has really helped me understand a lot about myself and what stresses me out. I definitely get stressed out by the unexpected. I threw a 8th birthday for my daughter recently. We threw this awesome Taylor Swift birthday party for her. It was at a movie theater. We did a screening of the Eras tour. All of her friends came and danced, and it was wonderful. And I showed up 20 minutes before her birthday party, and the people in the theater did not know that we were throwing a birthday party for her. So I was in a total panic. I honestly thought I was going to pass out. They got it together at the last minute. It all worked out. It was fine. But for that entire afternoon, I mean, my stress levels were completely insane and totally through the roof. So just, I would have known that anyway, but having this insight, like, wow, this actually really does stress me out, and seeing what activities I do that really relax me, it's just really awesome. I find that, like, now that I have this information, I don't want to not have it. So the Oura Ring needs to be charged, I would say, about every 3 days, and it doesn't really need to be charged for that long, but it does need to be charged about every 3 days, usually before you go to sleep, so that the Oura Ring can successfully track your sleep data without running out of battery. And I find that I really I'm really careful about making sure that I charge it. I don't want to sleep without it. I want that data. I find it to be so helpful. And this is what's so interesting is yes, I was this person who just did not want this information. I felt like it was going to make me crazy. I felt like it was going to make me feel like I wasn't hitting goals that I wanted to be hitting. I still do think like if I had the Apple Watch, which really is more of a fitness tracker, I might actually feel that way because I'm not really checking my steps and my fitness that much on this Oura Ring. And if you are somebody who really wants a fitness tracker, from what I've read, the Apple Watch really is more of the fitness tracker. And this really is more of a holistic wellness tracker. So definitely be aware of that. Do some research going into it. Besides when I was going on hikes in the summer with some friends, I'm really barely using the step tracker. It's not something that I'm paying any attention to. I'm paying attention to my activity goal being met a little bit, but I really don't worry about it that much because I meet it every day for the most part without thinking about it. But it is definitely helpful for me to just know how much I've moved and how active I've been that day. Other thing I love about this ring, so I think it looks like a normal piece of jewelry, but here's what you can keep in mind. A lot of people find it to be bulky. It's a little big, it's a little thick. I mean, it's doing a lot. I mean, I think it's not that thick for what it's doing. But in 2024, 2025, the next gen Aura Ring is supposed to come out. So if you want to wait, you can definitely wait to get the fourth generation ring. It is supposed to be a little bit sleeker and a little bit thinner. And you're also supposed to be able to use it to make payments like Apple Pay, etc., which I think is awesome because I seriously don't even carry a wallet anymore. I only use Apple Pay. So I will probably upgrade to that ring considering that I use this for everything. Now, my mom bought the most expensive version for me, which is the rose gold ring. It was $444 at the time. Let's see. Now, if I go onto Amazon and check the price of it now, it's $549 for the rose gold version. You can sort of see it right there. And the other versions are black, silver, stealth, which is sort of like a dark gray, and brushed titanium. And did I say gold? There's also gold. So they range in price. The gold is $499. The black is $349, which is the cheapest one. The silver is also $349. The stealth is $449. So if you're looking at it and you're kind of deciding which one you want and which one you like, if you really, really love the rose gold and you think it matches your clothing and everything more than anything else, I would say it's worth it. But quite honestly, I mean, I look at this rose gold ring. Would I buy it again? Probably not. I honestly would probably get the stealth, the silver, or the black. Maybe the stealth or the black because I think the silver would stand out a lot. I think they're a little bit sleeker looking. The rose gold kind of looks like something that's turned. Like if you bought a piece of gold jewelry and you took a shower with it too many times, it doesn't really look that great, if I'm being honest. I like it. It does the job, but it's not that great of a rose gold hue. I would not like go back and do that again. I'm happy I have it. I wouldn't get the gold. I think the gold would kind of have the same problem and be a little bit wacky looking. But I think with this, I'd probably go back and I'd order the stealth, the black, maybe the brushed titanium because it's brushed. So you're not going to have this thing of it turning. But I think the brushed titanium is definitely the more masculine of the rings. I also have the Horizon. So there's two styles. There's the Horizon and the Heritage. The Horizon is the pure circle ring. The Heritage is sort of like an octagon. I imagine that kind of being annoying wrapped around my finger. So I definitely went with the pure circle Horizon. And if you buy this ring on Prime Day or when it's on sale, you are going to save a lot of money. That being said, if this is something that you want and something that interests you, I cannot say how worth it is to have this, and like I would absolutely get it as soon as you can, because it just makes me want to take better care of myself, and it also makes me feel like I already am. It's validating of the ways that I do care for myself. It encourages me to go to bed earlier at night. One of my kids was waking up as early as 3:45 in the morning last week because she switched to a new school, which was totally bonkers and insane. But guess what? I was still getting 6 hours of sleep because I was going to bed at 9. My Aura Ring was telling me that I needed to go to bed. It was aware of how early I was waking up in the morning. And so just things like that. I mean, really, really, really big difference that this ring has made in my life. And I am so, so, so thankful for that. So please reach out to me over DMs. I'm happy to talk about this ring anytime to anyone who asks. I think if you're the type of person who's worried about stats and data, maybe tripping them up a little bit, this is an amazing choice because it really is the way the Aura Ring speaks to you. By the way, they've written articles about this. The AI voice of the Aura Ring is so encouraging and so nice. And really, when I don't sleep, the Aura Ring makes me feel so much better about it and tells me I've got this and tells me that I'm capable. It's just a very encouraging little device. I talk about this a lot, but there's so many things that I think we get afraid of when it comes to AI and technology. This is such a good example, I think, of technology doing playing such a wonderful role in society. And I like to focus on that because what else is there to do, right? Like, let's focus on the things um that things that scare us are doing well, that are making better, because otherwise, like, of course, we're going to feel anxious about these things. They're new, they're different. That's totally normal. But there's so many amazing things that they do. And I personally love to focus on that because it makes me feel excited about life and the direction things are going. And this has definitely been a very positive revelation in my life. So if you're interested in the Aura Ring, again, this is not sponsored at all. I'm just sharing something that has made such a positive difference in my life. I'm going to share my affiliate link in the show notes, so you're welcome to use it if you're interested in the ring and you want to make a purchase. But no pressure at all. Just honestly sharing this because if anyone else can benefit from this the way that I have, I would really want them to. I know, especially for moms and dads, I think being a parent comes with a lot of ups and downs in terms of sleep and ability and energy levels. And I think this ring just really serves as this additional voice, like coaching you along, telling you what you're capable of, telling you what you need. And I love it. I couldn't be happier with it. So that's my Aura Ring review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts. Link to the Aura Ring is in the show notes, and I can't wait to join you guys again next time.